I'm afraid I have some terrible news. Mercedes-Benz has killed off its G-Wagon after 40 years of continuous production. But before we have a moment of silence, have a look at the new one. And it is new, despite looking exactly the same. Driving the 2018 G-Wagon, for me at least, is quite a strange experience. The only way I can describe it is, it's a little bit like dating your girlfriend's sister. There's a lot of similarities, but at the same time, everything's quite different. So what I'm talking about is we're driving along here and I have this usual G-Wagon commanding view of the road ahead, and I have the same indicator lenses on either side of the front wings that the old model had. Then there's the grab handles, and even the door shuts. When you shut the door, it sounds like an old G-Wagon. It's very bizarre. Now, the difference between this car and the old one is huge, mainly because AMG insisted on fitting the G-Wagon with a proper independent front suspension. So guess what? Now you have some steering feel and accuracy the old car just did not have. The old car was, quite frankly, terrifying. That said, compared to a modern high-performance premium SUV like, say, the Range Rover Sport SVR, it doesn't really compare at all, because this thing is quite scary when you're going around bends like this. And there's a lot more roll, and there's a lot more weight to deal with. Well, there isn't much more weight. It's about the same weight as an SVR, but this certainly feels in it. And I think that's because this car carries on using the old car's separate chassis. One thing I love about the new car is it's been the subject to a bit of downsizing. Now, normally that's a horrible thing, but this one now gets Mercedes-AMG 4-litre V8. And it sounds like that. And it produces, get this, 460 kilowatts and 850 newton meters of torque. That is enough for a 0 to 100 time in just 4.5 seconds. I know, insane. Well, we had this car off-road earlier, and it is so capable. It's in fact unbelievable what this car could do. These guys really know how to get through the roughest terrains, and the G-Wagon is just benefited from, well, 4 decades of experience. Trust me, in steep rock faces, which, you know, you struggle to walk up, this thing is impenetrable. It climbed up everything we threw at it. I think the biggest criticism of this car is, while people like Range Rover and Porsche are just transforming the SUV driving experience, you know, the latest Cayenne is just incredible what it can do on your favourite country road. It does feel like a sports car. This, on the other hand, never feels like a sports car. This always tells you that this is a big, heavy SUV. Some of the other weak points about this car are, well, we were driving it pretty hard up the mountain earlier, and the brakes didn't feel quite as strong as you thought they would, considering the weight and the size and the performance. But I think that's just a silly gripe from a spoilt car journalist who had a full tank of petrol to play with. So the Mercedes G63 AMG will be on sale in Australia in the middle of 2018. So the big question is, should you buy one? Well, for $247,000 Mercedes will charge for this car. There are plenty other rivals out there, like the Range Rover Sport SVR and the Porsche Cayenne Turbo, that will be better to drive, better to live with, and just better all-round cars. That said, after 2 days driving this car, it's really difficult not to fall for its charms. It really is so much fun and so capable off-road that, you know what, if you bought one, I think I'd understand.